Hi guys, my name is Dominique Gallo and I'm an International Board Certified Lactation Consultant or IBCLC, and I'm here to celebrate Breastfeeding Awareness Month with you guys. So Breastfeeding Awareness Month is a time that we take in August every year to celebrate breastfeeding and all the accomplishments that moms make, and we also spread some facts and love about breastfeeding. Usually what I do during this time is I like to highlight some of the issues surrounding breastfeeding and try to encourage change amongst healthcare and things like that. World Breastfeeding Month is usually split up into 4 weeks of different topics. The first week is just general, all about breastfeeding, and it's usually the end of the week is commemorated with the annual Big Latch On, where we try to break the Guinness Book of World Records every year of how many moms we can get latched simultaneously at the same time. I personally have done several Big Latch Ons and have hosted several of them. They are lots of fun, especially if you get to participate. The next week is Native Breastfeeding Week, where we take time to learn about our Native mamas and how breastfeeding affects them, and the disparities amongst our Native families with breastfeeding. Then we do a spotlight on infant feeding and emergencies, especially now during COVID. It's wonderful that we learn how to take care of our parents during times of emergencies, especially weather emergencies and pandemic. And then the last week of August is where we celebrate Black Breastfeeding Month, where again we just do a spotlight on the disparities and the awareness and just of Black breastfeeding, and kind of support those moms that are doing the great work. So with that being said, being a lactation consultant, I'm going to give you guys my top 5 advice for breastfeeding your baby. Of course, you can Google and look up all kinds of stuff, but these are my top 5 things. If I get this question, these are usually the things that I respond with. So we're going to go in order from 5 to 1. So number 5 is my biggest one: do lots of skin to skin, right? Never underestimate the power of just being with mama. So when you get your baby, if your baby's overly fussy or right after delivery, take that blanket off, take your top off, and just lay baby right on you, skin to skin. And then put a blanket over top of you guys and just kind of sit there and be with each other, right? Skin to skin calms babies down. Skin to skin kind of resets things. Skin to skin helps boost babies' blood sugars if they're low, kind of stabilize their breathing and their heart pattern, especially if they had troubles when they were coming out. Skin to skin definitely can kind of help reset that. And it also helps to calm mama down. When mom is separated from her baby, she kind of goes into fight or flight mode a little bit, and she gets very worried, and just having her baby right here kind of calms her down. So never underestimate the power of skin to skin. You can never do too much skin to skin, and skin to skin is great for milk production. So number 4, sleep when the baby sleeps, eat when the baby eats, do laundry when the baby does laundry, right? You're going to be in the hospital, you're going to be home, there's no need for you to be entertaining guests, and you really shouldn't be entertaining guests anyway because of the pandemic, right? So you should be nursing your baby, taking care of your baby, and sleeping when your baby is sleeping. If people want to come over, make sure that they are coming over to do a task, right? So if they can fold laundry, if they can cook dinner, if they want to clean your house, fine, come over. But if it's somebody that just wants to hold a baby and have you relive your birth story over and over again, no. Once you're healed from your delivery and you're feeling like entertaining guests, that's when they can come over and do that. But for those early weeks, veg out at home, Netflix and chill with your baby and your family, and kind of learn how to breastfeed and learn each other. Number 3, babies nurse super frequently and not perfectly. So breastfeeding is a learned behavior. Your baby comes out with some skills, but not all the skills, and definitely not all the skills to latch to your breasts. They never met you before, and they don't know what these breasts are about. So it does take some time. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your baby. You guys will get it. But just understand, Babies eat frequently. They don't watch the clock. They want both breasts every time they eat, and they may not do it perfect the first time, but the great thing about breastfeeding is that they do it several times a day. So that means you get several times to practice and figure it out. I promise you, by the time you're 2 weeks in, the first couple of days will be a blur. You won't remember it, and you can feed a village. So the second one is always ask for help. Even if you feel like it's a stupid question, even if you feel like, oh my God, she just came in here, I should know this, right? Nobody's perfect. We forget things, especially if we haven't done it for a long time. So ask for help. If you're in the hospital, ask for the lactation consultant or whoever is there to help with breastfeeding to make sure that you get the perfect latch and that you get off to a great start. If you're at home and things don't quite seem right, reach out to your lactation consultant. Just say, hey, can I come in for a consult, or do you do virtual consults? I don't feel like things are right. Can you just kind of check in on things? Worst case scenario, you show up, baby nurses perfectly, baby's transferring a lot of milk, baby's gaining weight, and everything's fine, and now you know. But always ask for help. If you're not sure, always ask for help. And my number one in my top 5 is take a breastfeeding class. Always take a breastfeeding class. Take lots of breastfeeding classes if you can, but definitely take a breastfeeding class. Breastfeeding classes are great information so that you'll know what's normal baby behavior and what's not normal baby behavior. Breastfeeding class goes over latch, positioning, how many diapers a baby should be having, what to do if things aren't working out perfectly, who to call, how much baby should eat, all of those great things. Take the breastfeeding class. There are several virtual ones. I teach one once a month. Virtually in a group setting via Google Meets, I think. So you can sign up for that if you want to, but there's other options too that do virtual. There's some lactation consultants that do private as well, or your hospital may be hosting classes, or they may also have virtual options as well. But look into having a breastfeeding class. Take the breastfeeding class so that you'll have that basic knowledge of breastfeeding before you go into hospital. And then that way you'll know what looks normal, what doesn't look normal. And if things are going not so right, you'll even know how to fix it a little bit before lactation can get to you. So that's my top 5 tips that I give to moms that are breastfeeding. And again, I am Dominique Gallo, and I'm an international board certified lactation consultant. I have a private practice called Gallo Birth Services, where I do birth doula, postpartum doula, and also lactation consulting. So you can find me at my website, www.dominiquedoula.com. If you have any questions for me, I am always happy to answer them. You can always email me through my website or dominique@dominiquedoula.com. You can also find me on Facebook at Gallo Birth Services. And happy Breastfeeding Awareness Month. Have a good night.